is 1050 ESPN, New York.
SportsCenter All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
One NBA star looking introspectively, another calling out teammates. That's straight ahead. Thanks for making SportsCenter All Night part of your night here on ESPN Radio. We're presented by Progressive Insurance.
4th down and 15 to the Chiefs have it. 35 seconds to go in the game. 20-17 Chiefs. Daniel Jones with Devontae Booker. On 4th down, they had a touchdown. Chiefs on the twist. Jones is hit. Down he goes. Down he goes, and now he flips it off to a lineman who goes down. The Chiefs will get a hold here. Daniel Jones back-to-back sacks. And how about Frank Clark and Chris Jones on back-to-back sacks to win the game?
6.5, the Wolf. Kansas City defense closing down the Giants in the final minute. And the Chiefs come away with the win on Monday Night Football. 20-17 the final. A win? Yes. Problem solved for the Chiefs? Hardly. More than 100 yards in penalties, 2 more turnovers, including another interception for Patrick Mahomes, who leads the NFL with 10 picks. The first former MVP to lead the NFL outright in interceptions through Week 8 since Brett Favre in 2005. ESPN analyst Ryan Clark.
This team isn't what it used to be. It used to have energy, right? We used to watch these games and think to ourselves, look at these huge plays. Look how much fun they're having. They're running around. Andy Reid is dialing all this stuff up. Now when he dials those things up, it almost looks like he's trying to force it. Like he's trying to get them back to what they used to be. The underhand throws, the shovel passes, moving people around, having Travis Kelce come in and play quarterback. It's not as effective as it used to be because this team now has no identity, Scott.
Interesting. A lot of that eye candy, man, people love it. They're fantasy and reality, like they're ringing up points for your fantasy team, and they're putting points on the Arrowhead scoreboard, and they get this victory. We don't lose sight of that. They won the game. But it's the path to the victory that's just such a labor. And this is a bit inside the beltway for football, and fans, frankly, even me, wouldn't necessarily understand it. But if we go back to last year and what Atlanta did when it went to Arrowhead, explain to me what they did and how that blueprint is proving effective.
So it was late in the season, right? And it's Raheem Morris and the Atlanta Falcons. They go there. They play everything from a two-high shell.
Which means what?
Two-high shell means that it's split safety defense. And so you have safety standing on either side of the field, deep in the half, 18 to 20 yards deep, right? And so either he would bring a guy down to get Tyreek Hill on the deep crosser when he was at number 3, which is the last wide receiver close to the line of scrimmage, or they would just play too high, which makes Patrick Mahomes think. It makes Patrick Mahomes play slow. And now when we watch him, we're seeing the slowness of his decisions now cost him in interceptions, cost him in turnovers, cost him in fumbles in the pocket. And this team today, when I say they don't have an identity, I mean this. The two-high safety shells, right? The zone defenses are going to make this team be something that it's not. They need to run the football, right? They need to become a team that can be physical. Patrick Mahomes needs to become a quarterback that's okay with taking the check down. All of these things are exactly what they have not been since Patrick Mahomes has been the quarterback. And it's hard to pivot, but they have to, because this is an average football team right now. It's a boring football team right now. And it's not just because of them. It's because what defenses are doing to them.
Well, you are what your record says you are, and their record says they're average at 4-4. Mahomes with 13 turnovers, the most in the NFL. And I think we all understand that he's a remarkable talent. The arm talent, the face you're making on that sidearm throw. That all still exists. But I think you hear in him, and he said it this week, I've got to play better. He knows all that, and yet it isn't just as easy as pushing a button. It's rarely been as easy lately as they made it appear to be. So when a team goes through something like this and is staring at the schedule they're staring at, and we'll show it again here in a moment, just what's this next week like as they get ready for Green Bay to come in? What are they dealing with?
This is a team that has to have self-awareness. That's the best awareness. They need to go into the locker room and say, we are not a good football team. And we aren't a good football team because we aren't performing. The best player on our team, who many think is the best quarterback in football, maybe the best that they've ever seen, is a middle-of-the-pack quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs right now. And so all the fun stuff, the side-on throws, turning double plays and all that, that does not matter because it is not effective. This team has to go back to the drawing board and be something totally different down the stretch if they want to contend at all.
And again, as we've laid out, you got Green Bay, the Raiders, and Dallas coming in the next 3 weeks. And this is not burying the Chiefs. It's just, I think, a real assessment of where they are right now from our
Scott, you know what it is? When you're a team that we always considered a championship contender, a team people talked about being able to be 17-0 this season, and you're not, that's an issue.
Kansas City went in 10.5-point favorites, failed to cover 8 straight games when favored by a touchdown or more. Chiefs' 4th straight game with multiple turnovers, but they do get the win over the Giants on Monday Night Football. Giants obviously shorthanded in the Monday night loss. Their 9th straight primetime loss, longest streak in franchise history, but they've been banged up significantly this season. Meanwhile, we come out of Week 8 with a couple more big injuries. Titans without Derrick Henry. Saints losing Jameis Winston to the guys at PTI.
Wilbon, which is the bigger loss?
Tony, they're both big. Anytime you lose a starting quarterback and you've got a great defense already and you can run the ball and all the traditional football elements seem to be in place, and then you lose that quarterback, Jameis Winston, that's a big blow. But, Tony, Derrick Henry was the best player in football so far this season to me. Yes, best. I'm putting him above quarterbacks. I'm putting him above Aaron Rodgers. I'm putting him, for right now, ahead of the Golden Boy. I'm putting him ahead of everybody. Derrick Henry carried a team. He gave them a personality. He made their quarterback more effective. He made the defense more effective. You can play keep away from people. It affected all parts of the Tennessee Titans game, and they were a threat to win the Super Bowl with Derrick Henry leading the league in everything that comes to toting the football in play. And now that he's not in play, Tone, I don't see that. I'm going with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry is at the very least not just the best running back in the league. He's the best player on his team. Jameis Winston is not the best player on his team. The answer is Derrick Henry. Even though in the last 2 games he has been largely ineffective, he has only rushed for a total of 160 yards or thereabouts, and he's taken the ball 60 carries. He's averaging less than 3 yards a carry. Even with that, they won both those games. They beat playoff teams. They beat Kansas City and they beat Indianapolis. Because you have to prepare for Derrick Henry. You have to orient your defense to stopping Derrick Henry. If all you have to orient your defense to do against Tennessee is stop Ryan Tannehill, you're going to be able to do that. Is Jameis Winston the best quarterback in the league? No. Is he a good quarterback? Maybe he's a good quarterback. And they got 2 great wins, Mike. They got Green Bay and they got Tampa Bay. But the Tampa Bay win was accomplished not because of who was the quarterback. It was accomplished on defense when they picked Tom Brady twice in the 4th quarter. So for me, the answer definitively is Derrick Henry. I think you don't have to orient your defense to stop Adrian Peterson.
No.
So it's Derrick Henry,
This diminishes the season to me because it also gave you this throwback player who for some of us of a certain age was wonderful to watch. Even Tony, when he didn't have a lot of yards, he scared the hell out of the whole defense. You have 5 guys running with him and some tight end laughing in the flat. So, no, Derrick Henry, man, it's a loss. It hurts the league.
Both Henry and Winston expected to be out for the rest of the season. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio. To the NBA in Philly, Sixers hosting the Blazers.
Niang on the drive against Lillard. Dame reaches, gets knocked down, and they count the basket. Oh, my. George Niang along the baseline. It seemed like the attempt was almost as if it were an afterthought, but it counts. Continuation, and George Niang is going to the line as the Sixers with a chance to make it 190. Maxey with it to Curry. Sixers got to get into this offense a little bit. 11 to shoot. Maxey to Curry, right side, 3-point shot. Up, it's good! Seth Curry from deep. Timeout, Portland, and the 76ers lead by 10. Curry is on fire. He's got 21.
97-5, the Fanatics. Seth Curry, 23 points on 10 of 17, shooting his most field goals made in a game this season. Sixers beat the Blazers 113-103. Sixers had no free throw attempts in the first half. 4th time over the last 20 seasons they didn't attempt a free throw in the first half, but they get the 10-point win. Damian Lillard, 20 points, 10 assists. His 74th career game with 20 points and 10 assists, 6th most since entered the league in 2012. But said his poor start is a chance for him to show the world what he's really about. Quote, I always look at struggles as an opportunity to show my true character. In Boston, Celtics and Bulls, and Chicago rallies big time.
Bulls trail by 2. Levine gives it up, Vooch. Baseline right, DeRozan, one bounce. The release from 16, got it! DeMar DeRozan with 29. We're tied at 110 with 5:40 to go in the fourth. DeRozan on the left elbow against Marcus Smart with a spin, double on the ball with a handoff to Caruso. Caruso driving left to right. Caruso to ball in the near corner. DeRozan for 3. Bam! DeMar DeRozan with 37.
Swirsky 670 the score. Bulls, a 128-114 win over the Celtics, but it's how they got there. The Bulls outscoring the Celtics 39-11 in the fourth quarter. The Bulls plus 28-point differential in the fourth quarter, their largest in any fourth quarter in franchise history for the Celtics. First time losing by double digits after entering the fourth quarter with a double-digit lead in the shot clock era. Of course, the shot clock instituted in the mid-1950s. Celtics outscored by 28 points in the fourth quarter, worst differential in the fourth quarter, or in any quarter since 2000. After the game, Marcus Smart calling out Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, saying the two need to pass the ball and get their teammates more involved. Brown and Tatum combining for 48 points, but they struggled late in the game. Tatum scored 2 points on 1 of 8 shooting in the fourth quarter. Brown was scoreless on just 2 shots as the Celtics fall by 14, 128-114 after leading big heading into the fourth quarter. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio. Grizzlies and Nuggets.
7 on the shot clock. Morant going to go at Highland. 5 on the shot clock. Morant off the bounce at Highland. Hangs, scoops with the left hand and scores. Strong move by John Morant at Bones Highland. 22 for Morant, and the Grizzlies back up 11. A big bucket for the Grizz. 2:40 remaining.
92.9 ESPN Memphis. A 106-97 win for the Grizzlies. Their first win over the Nuggets since January of 2020. Entered play having lost 7 of their last 8 games against the Nuggets. John Morant, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. His 14th career game with at least 25, 5, and 5. He joins Rudy Gay as the only players in Grizzlies history to record 25 or more points in 5 of the first 7 games in a season. Raptors and Knicks.
OG Anunoby, a long 3, splash it home right in front of the Knicks bench. Raptors go up 12, 96-84. Down the stretch we come, 3:20 to go. Van Vliet, jumper good. A deep one from Freddie. Down the bottom of the well, 107-94. Toronto by 13.
Toronto winds up winning at 113-104. Their 4th consecutive victory. They improved to 3-0 on the road this season. They matched their season high with 14 made threes, including 6 in the third quarter when they outscored the Knicks 38-22. Knicks made another 16 threes. They now have 116 this season, second most by any team ever through 7 games, but they come up short in this one, 113-104. Clippers a 99-94 win over the Thunder. Clippers trailed by 9 before closing the game on a 17-3 run. Tuesday will be the big unveiling. Thoughts? That's next. SportsCenter all night at ESPN Radio.
Coming up Tuesday, it's time for Key's Real Rankings, dominated by the NFC team. So when will the first AFC team be ranked? Plus, how far do the Cardinals fall? Gambo, are you around? Tuesday morning, Keyshawn, J. Will and Max, ESPN Radio.
More SportsCenter all night. Next.